Hello, I just think I should go over this before this starts. This is in no means in order. I'll try and make it mostly in order, but some things won't necessarily line up. I'd like to go over the fact that this is not my first levels that you're seeing. This is on this phone, on this account. I've had countless cell phones and accounts before this that are just lost to time. I've tried reloading them and getting them back again, but it just doesn't work. So enjoy what I've been doing for 3 years. This is Euphoria, which was the second level in my GXOR series. I called it that because every single level is going to use a GXOR song. Until he abused his girlfriend. Then I stopped using his music, which I think is fair enough. You know, there seems to be a theme between people being either pedophiles or just beating women within the Geometry Dash community, and I'm not really sure why. This foreground thing you're seeing is my first time doing tech. I didn't know it at the time, but looking back at it, it definitely was tech. I made this rainbow effect that I really spammed because I thought it looked cool and it was the only thing I really knew how to do. I just put coins wherever I felt like it. This UFO is actually really fun, I'm not gonna lie. This level was actually meant to be a collab, but not so surprisingly, the person who was meant to be building on it left. Future Funk 3. I saw Jonathan GD's levels, which heavily inspired me to create, and I thought, I could do that. Spoiler alert, I couldn't, but I tried. The entirety of this level is made on New Year's Eve of 2021, going into 2022, and I thought that was kind of cool, because that's like the main gimmick of Future Funk, but, you know, obviously that level wasn't made in one sitting, unlike this, which, to be honest, I'm not really sure how I did it. This is a significantly less optimized version of the rainbow effect from Euphoria. This has nearly 10,000 triggers. I could pull it up in the editor. It is ridiculous. And each of those pixel blocks is like 500. It's stupid. Take a wild guess what this level's themed off of. Yeah, you can probably tell by the thing in the background. Or you can't because it looks like shit. It's a Gatorade cap. At least it's meant to be. Doesn't really look like it to me. But I remember vividly making it. And I'm not too sure what happened here, but the gameplay just completely broke in the ball. It's off-centered by a better block, so it just doesn't work at all. This level is a very good song, though. I feel there's not necessarily a need to talk over much this level. I tried to do a modern style, and it just didn't work. The gameplay's alright, and this was meant to be the third part of my GXOR series, and I'm pretty sure that midway through it, GXOR got exposed, so I just stopped. Just straight up quit. I don't think I should need to explain how I feel about this song, but it's definitely not a positive feeling. This block design here looks nice, and the reason for that is because it's straight up plagiarized from Knots. Like, I just straight up stole it. Like, I looked at a reference and tried to copy it to the best of my ability. I'm not too sure what 12-year-old me was thinking when I made that. Not really sure why I felt the need to emphasize that with the deco, but alright. As I said earlier, the gameplay in this level is actually not that bad. It's still not great, but it's definitely a step up from things I've done before. This level was one of my first full layouts. I started playing Beat Saber and I got really inspired, and so I used one of the songs from the game. One of the very few ones that were actually on Newgrounds, since I didn't have access to non-Newgrounds songs. I thought the super glowy effect was really cool, and also got a little bit inspired by Deadlocked here. Honestly, this level wasn't that bad, it just had a problem with me trying too hard. This part wasn't possible in normal mode, so I had to go into editor and play it. And this is the first boss fight that I made on this account. It's Beat Sabers, if you can tell. You probably can't. You're not supposed to be able to go through them. I'm just really bad at playing this level. And if I'm being honest, this duel's actually pretty fun. The rest of the level, the quality just falls off immensely. This level was called Boss Circles, not because I had a boss, but because I used an Ellipse song. That's how delusional I was. There was seriously an actual problem. About 50% of the levels in this video use an Ellipse song. The 9 Circles gameplay isn't even that fun. The effect is very clearly broken, and it doesn't work at all. I actually am not too sure how I thought this was quote-unquote good at the time. This was what I would consider my first genuine boss fight. It was made for an NFCC. I can't remember which one. There's a lot of them at this point. I kind of forget. Most of the gameplay is experimental, but what I thought would be a cool thing to do would just be a boss fight that's just guns, because I've never seen that before. So it's guns and knives and swords and saw blades, and any weapon you could possibly think of is in this level just to serve as an attack against a player. If you look back at that shotgun, the reload animation, I spent about a day on because the shell actually ejects. This level has so much soul. It may not look the best or play the best, but I can't deny that it definitely hits me right in the nostalgia strings, which is always a nice quality to have. This is my first time trying a more traditional Zender game style boss fight, which still wasn't great. If there were any building process which I learned the most from, it would definitely be this level. Now at first it just seems kind of bland and boring, but keep in mind this is a sequel to what was at my time my best level, so I just wanted to top it. I didn't necessarily know how to make boss fights, so I just straight up copied Zender Game. As you can see here, it's just a really shitty version of Abomination from Ultraviolence. And then I remembered, oh wait, this is weapon boss fight. These things have to be weapons. And so I put a gun in there. And then I went straight back to generic Zender Game boss fight, which I never really completed. The gameplay in sync here is actually very satisfying. This is where the level's quality nosedives. In particular, the gameplay, it got just so much worse and unbearable to play. If it wasn't already, it became about 10 times more unbearable in the first half. car is one of the few that I actually decorated, and this lags my phone, which is a Samsung S20. Although it may not be new in this modern age, it definitely should be able to keep up with my decoration from 13-year-old me. P90 boss fight. Oh my god. It's intentionally missing the player. It's just fundamentally flawed. In regards to this level, I don't want to hear a word out of one of you, and if I do, you're banned from commenting forever. This level is, to be honest, the most generic thing I've ever created, and it's not even good. It's not even well done. It's bad. I'm pretty sure I never released this level, and it's for a good reason. It's just very unfinished, and it manages to look like shit. This boss test serves more as a preview to my next level than anything else. This level was originally going to be a collab with one of my best friends. Unfortunately, he moved away and we never got a chance to finish the level. He only really helped with the layout and the designing of the boss, so it's not like I couldn't have finished it. Just without that motivation of it being a collab, I never got a chance to get it done. In all honesty, it does look pretty good though. This level really did teach me a lot about bosses though, particularly movement and rotation and pulsing. This drone boss fight was made in 2 days and 2 sittings. This level was more so just an experiment, and it really should have just been a boss test. There was no need to make the full layout. I stopped adding on to it because of the song and who made it, and the situation revolving that person. I think the boss fight looks great, but the gameplay is definitely not it. The gameplay at this part though was very fun. I think I'm going to cut this here. Most of my modern projects are either I'm working on them or they're just too short to go in this video. So thank you if you watched this far. I really do appreciate it. I might make a small compilation of all of my newer projects if this does well.